What's up, everybody? Joe Kemp here, and it is time. I am so excited. Welcome to episode 1 of the Bossdog Show. There is so much stuff that's going to be happening on this season. Today, on this episode, we get the chance to talk to the amazing Jonathan Sadowski. You might know him from She's the Man, Young and Hungry, the Nightmare on Elm Street, not Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh my God. Friday the 13th reboot in 2009. He's also the owner of Ad Lunam Entertainment. Worked on the 8-Bit Christmas, which if you haven't seen, is killer. It's almost like a modern day Christmas story. Really kick butt. You can see that, I believe, on the Max. Not confused with HBO. So this guy is really awesome. It was a really great time. When we get in his interview, you're going to see me all choked up. I have to share this. When he comes in, they told me they were going to grab another actor. Not the person I expected to come in. So he comes in, sits down. I'm working. I'm not paying attention. We get to rolling. I sit down. I look over, and I'm like, that's not the actor I was supposed to be sitting with. I knew who he was. I knew his name was John. I was so worried about stumbling on his name that you see me all stuff. It was a really great interview. He's a really great guy. But hey, before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell, get your notifications, and share. For every episode, I will be giving out the Bossdog Show shirts. For one viewer, you have to like, share, comment. We're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. This is going to be everywhere. So in any of those will qualify you. After 100,000 followers, I will be giving out a PlayStation 5. So I want you to be on top of your game with this, okay? So without further ado, and one more before we do this, because the interview will go through and you won't see me back in this angle. I want everybody out there just to make sure, hey, this world is tough. Please be kind. We are all human beings. We are the human race. It don't matter what shade, color you are. It don't matter where you're from. Everybody goes through stuff. Be nice. There are so many stresses here. It don't matter where you're from, your shade of skin, your political views. We are human beings. Be nice to each other because you don't know what the other person's going through. And your little weird comment just might be enough to hurt that. So anyway, without further ado, guys, thank you for coming to the Bossdog Show. This is episode 1 with the great Jonathan Sadowski. What's up, everybody? Joe Kemp here with the Bossdog Show, Monday Love and Day of the Dead Film Festival. We are here with my boy, and I'm going to say your name wrong. John Sadowski.
Nailed it.
I was scared to miss it. John Sadowski here, guys, everybody. Friday the 13th, plus many more, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? What's going on?
No, it's another city. It's another convention. It's another great weekend of meeting a bunch of people who like the same stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
What's your policy with vulgarity? Because I tend to swear, so if it slips out, I don't want to get.
I think we're good. If it's too bad, I'll throw a beep in there.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, dude, these are great. I mentioned this to you right before we got started. This is only my second convention, but it's amazing. And there's a big misconception about these conventions. And I mentioned this. I did a Q&A panel recently, like today, and I said the misconception is everybody thinks these fans come here to meet us.
Right.
I go, but it's a two-way street, man. I go, we also come here to meet these fans.
Absolutely. I mean, these are the ones that's putting you in the positions, and you did a show for them and stuff.
Yeah,
so
dude.
That's awesome.
And it's also just like you see, like we talk about Friday the 13th, and it's like, it's one of the biggest movie franchises in history.
Right.
And when you do this film, at the time, it's like, cool, I'm doing Friday the 13th. But now here we are 15 years after the fact, and you see how vast its reach was, how many people affected, and how many people who's, just like support and follow it and love the genre and the film and what it means to them. So it's always good to come back and connect with those people and like you said, those, just give back a little bit to the people who helped you get there.
So before you did Friday the 13th, was this, was you a huge Jason fan? Was you really into that?
Absolutely,
or did that follow after you got
Bro, it was Jason and Freddie, Jason and Freddie growing up, man. I'm an old dude. I look good, but I'm an old dude. So dude, I will never forget me and my cousin Danny. My mom's sister lived downstairs from us. We were in this apartment building in the south side of Chicago. And I remember we were in his bedroom, and we had this tiny little TV, portable TV, and we were watching Friday the 13th. And I will never forget that scene because it cut. It was right before a commercial break where it's this long shot down the road, and you see someone cross it, and all of a sudden you see Jason come by, like walk across the road, and it's like it still gives me chills, man. Still gives me chills,
dude. I was like. My very first time I seen Nightmare on Elm Street, because I'm a hardcore Freddy fan, and it was on this little black and white, little bitty TV over in the corner. I don't even think it was supposed to come in. It's probably UHF or something. And I'm getting it coming. I'm like, whoa, dude, this is awesome. Yeah, dude. And you had to bend a certain way. You might have to touch it and stuff. But, dude, I remember that, and I fell in love even then, even on a shitty screen. But, it didn't hurt me what we were going to get.
So, dude, I remember there was some from the south side of Chicago, like I mentioned, and there was this little video shop, video. It's called Bridgeport Video. It's my neighborhood, Bridgeport, and they did a Freddy appearance right when Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was coming out.
Oh, with Robert Englund.
And it's like, so. I mean, I think it was Robert Englund. I mean, it was in.
We can say it's Robert Englund.
I was in like first grade, but I remember this limo pulls up, and there's all these kids outside. Like there was hundreds of us. The limo pulls up, and now we're like, oh my God, we're like, Freddy's here. And I will never forget the sunroof of the limo pops open, and Freddy pops his head out. He's like, I'm back! And he throws all these pins, like these buttons to all of us. And I remember I still have one at home. It was like, that was like my first time ever meeting a celebrity.
Dude,
Yeah, and it was like, it was such a wonderful experience, man.
That's awesome,
get it. It's
man.
like, it's like, I get the fandom from horror film. It's like, these characters they're larger than life,
Absolutely. I mean, and you go so far outside the box, and I think when you get individuals that's kind of not really into the scene, you can kind of see how their world, because the whole horror movie genre, everybody that's in it, I mean, you're doing things that's so way out here, but it's it brings so much creativity and your fantasy to life.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
And I mean, and you might even know this. When was the first Friday the 13th? When did it come out? It's like 70, 79, 78?
80.
81?
81.
What,
is it? The first one?
We'll get our, hey, can we have someone go? Okay. but you think about that, like 1980.
Right on.
So that was, no joke, one of the first horror films I'd ever seen. Whoa. And now then, again, in 2009, to be a part of that franchise and be connected to that history, dude, it's crazy, awesome, man.
Yeah, that's God, because you came in because you're with not Jared. Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah. So, like, where's that in numbers as far as like, because you get 10x, you get what would that be like? Because it was trying to reboot the franchise at that point.
Well, yeah, that thing, it wasn't even like a remake. It was a reboot.
It was a reboot because after you watch it, it's like, this really isn't. This is the continuation.
Right, so trivia question for you.
Okay.
The two largest franchise movies in history are Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And what's the other?
God, I'd probably have to say is it in the same ballpark?
Nope.
No. I mean, Star Wars?
Nope.
No. Which one?
James Bond.
Yeah, I never would have thought of James Bond.
Those two franchises have the most movies of each one more than any other movie in history.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, if you think how many Friday the 13th, there was Friday the 13th, there was 10. There like
with 10, yeah. I mean, what? 13,
I think it's like 14 of them. Yeah, something like that.
Because if you count the Freddy versus Jason as well. Holy cow! I didn't even
Jason in
think about
Space.
that.
Remember that one?
Oh my God! I try.
I try not to.
I'm joking. You know what? But for what they are and the creativity, I mean, because you can go back through some of them and go, man, why did they do that? Like, you know, you go Halloween and you get the zombie remakes. The first one, not so bad. The second one, like, I don't know what zombie was smoking. I mean, that's my own opinion. Everybody, I mean, you know, everybody has their own love for films, but I was like, man, you did really good on this remake of the first one, and then the second one, it was like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Zombie, you know, I love Zombie at the same time. I love all his films, but that one was one that was always like, dude, what's going on? But then you get things like that kind of changes the course and changes, you know, I don't know. It's crazy how they all I kind of went on my own tangent. I think
I was here for it. I'm like, just let him go.
Let him go. Who knows where it's going to be ADHD over here?
It's like that scene in Animal House. He's like, over? Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? And he goes, Germans? Let him go, man. He's on a roll.
That's hilarious. So what's the future? What's going on as far as future works and things?
So, well, it's bittersweet. As you may or may not know, I have for my own production company.
Oh, awesome!
So yeah, we have a couple movies that we're shooting this year.
What's the name of your production?
The name of my company is Ad Lunam Entertainment.
Okay,
it means to the moon. Ad Lunam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so cool. Me and my longtime manager Daniel Pancato, him and I created it, and we got some great movies in the works. We got one with we have a Western with Joel David Moore's company, who's an Avatar, obviously. Oh, we have a movie with John Legend and his company.
Okay.
But also, as you may or may not know, there was a writer's strike in Hollywood right now. And aside from the writer's strike, the actors just authorized a strike as well. So there may not be any new material in Hollywood for quite some time. So it's bittersweet.
How do you feel about the writer's strike, actor strike? How do you feel as an actor?
I think, unfortunately, like, you know, strike authorizations are the only way to kind of maintain some kind of bargaining power and leverage against the big conglomerates and the AMPTP. And look, I think movies are not made by one person. You know, I think it takes a village to make these movies.
Absolutely.
And I think that, you know, what people are asking for and stuff like that, it's not absurd. It's not. Everybody just wants a fair shake. And I have faith that I have faith that the AMPTP is gonna do what it takes to get the jobs done, because you know, look, the world needs cinema and the world needs TV.
Yes.
You know, and it's
the only thing that, like, the last writer strike, I blame them for the Kardashians. I just like, we could have done with that. Can we admit, you know, I mean, outside of
but that's not even a writer. That's an unscripted. That's a reality show. That's not even.
Yeah,
writer.
But that was kind of a fallout from.
Because
writers and writers like, hey, we got a bunch of hot women in a house with a crazy father.
Bro, if you think about it, that's what the fucking real world. Sorry, that's what the real world was doing on MTV. On music TV. Back in the 90s, that's when reality television started. It's like, let's get a bunch of whack jobs in a house together, give them a bunch of booze, and see what happens.
I joke about it, but absolutely, because you know, you got writers that are not getting compensated right. You've got actors that's not being taken care of. But it, like you said, it also affects so many more people.
Yep.
It's the FX people and the
hair and makeup, wardrobe, transportation, the caterers. It goes all the way down the line. And here's the crazy thing. Ready for this? In the first week of the writer's strike, the streamers lost 4 times the amount of money that the writers were asking for. It's like, and they wouldn't negotiate. It's like, you guys just lost 4 times what we were asking for.
And they
still haven't done anything.
That's crazy.
And look, man, here's the thing. I'm not calling anybody the bad guy, because everybody just wants the best success for them.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But it's like, come on, we're all in this together. You know who's suffering the most out of this? Is the fans. Because it's like, we have a responsibility as writers, as actors, as producers, as artists, to bring them the content that they so very much deserve.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
They're the ones that put us on the map. Let's keep it going for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, no one wins out of this, dude. So it's just like, I hope we all come to an agreement and keep
hopefully. I mean, hopefully, because last time we went for a pretty long time, but hopefully we all come together and they make a some kind of acceptable agreement.
Well, you know what I said? I was like, the writers, everything starts with the writer.
Yeah.
Everything starts with the writer. And I go, call me crazy, but what if the writers just started their own streaming service and cut out the middleman? And it's like,
all funds come to JK Multimedia. Yeah, it's a great idea, but it was my idea too. Just putting it out there.
The writers just started their own streaming service, call it the writer's block.
Oh my god.
Where it's like, and we all create our own, create the content.
Absolutely. I mean, they would mess up the whole industry. It'd flip
in
everything
the
on their
best
head.
way.
Yes.
Yeah. So horror conventions. Now that we've gone through the business side of Hollywood and
so I was going somewhere else, and then you went in a different direction.
Well, you asked me if I had any other things coming up, and that's what I was working on. Yeah, I bought a bar in LA.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a great thing or a very dangerous thing. My mom's not too happy about it.
I mean, it could be great. It could be fun. Get all the writers over for a drink.
I do.
Come on over,
dude. No joke. I did the second WGA mixer after their picket lines. I said, "Come on in." I go, first $1,000 is on the house.
So where? I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
Say it.
So for the actors, because I get on the writers aspect, because like part of the agreements I seen, like for Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, and this isn't horror, but his being able to go off the cusp and put his own line in there. How do you feel about the industry blocking that? Because I think on some characters, even though it is written this way, but sometimes that extra little flavor brings the character to life. Man. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. No writer, it's not like we're doing live theater here, right? We're doing multiple takes of every scene, multiple takes, different shots. As long as you get the one that's word for word perfect from the script, and you say, I'm going to try something new, they already have it with the other way. Try something new. You never know. 9 times out of 10, it's not. Sometimes it can be better. Sometimes it can be an absolute flop. But like you improvise a line here and there. I did it on Friday the 13th.
Okay.
There's that one line when they're like, I was like, I'm talking at the campfire with Richie, and I'm like, it's and they said it was Camp Crystal Lake, and Richie's like, everything, go to the supermarket, everything's crystal geyser, crystal this, every bottle of water is crystal, and I go, Aquafina. and that was completely improvised, and literally I remember saying that, and all the producers and writers went behind the camera because they didn't want to like laugh. But it's like sometimes you never know when you're going to get gold,
Right. That's awesome. That's just great.
Yeah.
So, I know I don't have too much more time.
No, it's all good.
Man. So going, stepping back from an actor, and you've got your production company. Mm-hmm. What are some of the big things that you're bringing out with that? Because that seems like
I love it. So my first film I produced was a film called 8-Bit Christmas for New Line Cinema and HBO Max, and that was my first time really dabbling and dipping my toes in the pool of producing, and I fell in love with it. And I'll tell you, I work with a mental coach who's all about like performance-based stuff and how to up your game on many facets of life. His name's Dr. Eric Bean. He's a PhD in sports psychology. He goes by Get a Strong Mind. That's his company. And we were doing these sessions, and he said, "What do you love to do?" And I said, "I love acting." And he goes, "Are you the best actor in the world?" And I was like, "Ooh." It's like, that's a knock to my ego. It's like true. So you think about it, it's like, am I the best actor in the world? And I was like, I said, probably not. Probably not. Daniel Day-Lewis, Robin Williams was out there. Like, you have ballers. And he goes, "What are you the best at?" And he goes, "Think about it. Come back and we'll talk in a week." So I thought about this for a week. And when I was a kid, me and my dad, we grew up broke. Me and my dad had a table at a flea market every weekend. Mm-hmm. We'd wake up at 4 a.m. We'd go to the flea market. We'd sell toys and different other odds and ends. And he'd give me a stack of cash. I was 9 years old, 10 years old. And he'd be like, this is what we paid for this. Try to sell it for more. And I was haggling with adults at 9 years old. And I come back to my doctor, Dr. Bean. He said, what are you best at? I said, I'm the best fucking salesman in the world. I go,
Okay.
I will talk a dog off a meat truck. And he goes, great. He said, find where what you love and what you're best at intersect. He goes, and that's where you'll find success. And I was like, that's producing. It's like, I'm in the room, I'm selling stuff, I'm creating stories and stuff like that. And it really is this perfect blend of what I love and what I'm best at. And it's really changed my whole perception on the industry. More of it changed my perspective about what path I should be on.
Absolutely. What a game changer. What's coming new? Because with after 8-bit and things like that.
So like I said, so we had 8-bit Christmas. We have an amazing movie called Symphony for a Broken Orchestra, which we are doing with John Legend and his company. It's a true story that happened in Philadelphia in 2015. The public school system had a severe lack of funding. The music programs in particular were suffocating. And schools were closing left and right. And there was the curator for the Temple Conservatory was in an abandoned high school, and he found over 1,000 broken instruments just sitting in a gymnasium, just all in various states of disrepair. So he recorded what sounds they could make, wrote down all the instruments. They brought in a Pulitzer Prize winning composer, and they taught all these inner city school kids how to play broken instruments in unique ways. And they put on a symphony, like with professional musicians and all that stuff, and all these broken instruments. So me and my partner Daniel got the rights to that story, and I brought it to John and his partner Mike Jackson, who's a dear friend of mine. And so that's one of our films are coming out. Yeah, it's great. We have Sam Pollard who's directing it, who was Spike Lee's editor for a very long time. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm assuming the 8-bit, that sounded like an animation. Am I wrong?
No. So you haven't seen it?
I thought I seen it, dude.
You will, especially being like.
Oh, dude.
So basically, you know the movie A Christmas Story?
Yes, yeah.
You wanted the Red Ryder BB gun?
Yes.
Mine is about it's set in the 1980s in Chicago, in the suburb of Chicago. And it's about a 10-year-old boy in his quest to get a Nintendo for Christmas when Nintendo first came out.
Okay. Yeah. So when you first said it, I was like, man, that sounds familiar. And I kept picturing this. I don't know why. I was thinking animation. And then,
It's great. We have Neil Patrick Harris in it, David Cross, Steve Zahn, June Diane Raphael.
Oh, my God.
Our young lead, Winslow Fegley. It's a super talented, brilliant young actor. But it'll just make you remember being a kid and like that nostalgia you felt like when Nintendo first hit America. And it's like from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out to Paperboy.
Yes.
And it's like all those
Duck Hunt.
Yes, exactly.
A little gun. It's like,
oh, dude, we
I
talk
can
about
shoot
that
and
in the
put the
movie.
gun on the screen.
We talk about that in the movie, dude. Yeah.
I'll have to definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's great. Man. Michael Dowse directed. He's a brilliant director. Like, it looks beautiful. No joke, dude. You'll watch this. It will make you feel like a kid again.
Oh my God, I am definitely putting that down.
Yeah.
How was it working? I know this is going bouncing to the other project. How was it working with John Legend? Because he seems to be
great.
He's an amazing artist. He's an amazing writer.
John's my boy, dude.
He's amazing. Like,
John's my boy. We play in a fantasy football league together. He is wonderful, man. He's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, he's great. We are. I play in a fantasy football league with him. Like I said, his business partner Mike Jackson, a bunch of other actors like Jay Ellis from Top Gun Maverick, and Niambi, who's Omar Benson Miller. We're all in this league together. But John's wonderful. And John, I'll tell you what's great about John. He is super intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
He is super successful. But I think the best thing about John is he is super approachable.
Yeah.
He replies to every text.
Wow.
He replies to every email. It's like he exudes positivity.
Yeah.
And it's just like he is a wonderful guy, incredibly smart, like so smart, so well read, and just a talent, man.
Well, you like when so John Legend as a music person, like that's
he's on the judge of The Voice, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, that's crazy. I just didn't realize. Okay, flipping it around to John Legend.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that he was also in the production side.
So he has a company. His company's called Get Lifted, and like Get Lifted Film Co. is the company, the partner, his thing we're working with. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. I love him as well. Totally different on there.
Yep.
But I was thinking more on the writer side and production side.
Yeah.
But wow, that's crazy that all over the place and the people that you can work with.
Hell yeah.
Man, I know I won't keep you any
Thank
longer,
you so much,
dude.
brother.
I appreciate you coming.
Always good to
on.
see you, man.
Always a great time. Guys, make sure to click, like, and subscribe. Go to your YouTube, share. Bossdog Show Monday, Love, Days of the Dead, JK Multimedia, all of it and above. Man, make sure to check us out on all your streaming platforms, guys. Thank you so much.
And watch 8-Bit Christmas on HBO Max.
8-Bit.
Actually, now it's called The Max.
Don't say it home box office. It'll mess us up. See you guys soon, man. Love you guys. Peace.
Thanks so much,
Yeah,
brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.